Hello, you guys. Today we will start with our poet Philip Larkin, and I have already made a video on one of his poems that is The Explosion. So, if you haven't watched that video, do press the suggestion link and let's get started with the intro or the biography of Philip Larkin. His full name is Philip Arthur Larkin, and he was born on 9th of August 1922 in England, and the place was Warwickshire. Okay, and he was an English poet, novelist, a librarian, and a jazz critic. His first book of poetry was his first collection of poetry was The North Ship, that was published in the year 1945 with 32 poems in all. And he had wrote many novels which are like Jill in 1946, A Girl in Winter in 1947, and many more. His first collection I have already talked about, and the second collection of his poems was named as The Less Deceived. That is in 1955. It had almost about 29 or 30 poems. And he wrote another collection of poems, that means the third collection of poems he wrote. It was Whitsun Wedding in the year 1964, and the fourth one High Widows in the year 1974. So this poem collection, this the collection of poems of Whitsun Wedding in 1964. It had 32 poems, and High Widows, that was published in 1974, it had 24 poems in all. So he got Queen's Gold Medal for Poetry, and he was offered the position of Poet Laureate in 1984, but he declined the position of this Poet Laureate in 1984. His alma mater was St. John College, which is in Oxford University, and he was an employer of University of Hull. He was influenced by W.H. Auden, W.B. Yeats, that means William Butler Yeats, and Thomas Hardy. A pseudonym used before his name is Brunette Coleman. It is written as some men doesn't want to reveal their identity. He also worked for online newspaper, that means the Daily Telegraph. At least 10 years. For at least 10 years he worked as a critic there. His first poem was published at the age of 15 years, and it was published in his school magazine, and the name of the magazine was Winter Nocturne. He remained bachelor throughout his life, and he was known as post-war poet. So let's get started with our poem 1914, that is MCMXIV. So this poem was written about the year of beginning of the First World War, and it expresses the feelings and emotions of the revolutionaries and the common man. This poem is published in the year 1964 in the Whitsun Wedding collection that I have told in the intro. This was the collection, the Whitsun Wedding. This poem is published in that collection only. So this poem has 4 stanzas which are of 8 lines. Each stanza is of 8 lines, and the first 2 stanzas talks about urban life, and the third and fourth stanzas, or the last 2 stanzas, talks about rural life. Those long uneven lines standing as patiently as if they were stretched outside the oval or villa park. The crowns of hats, the sun on moustached archaic faces, grinning as if it were all an August bank holiday lark. So in stanza 1, the people are standing in the long uneven lines patiently as they are waiting for their appointment, which they took for involving as the revolutionary in the First World War. And it's look like that they are stretched outside in the oval or villa park. They were standing for their appointment in the army, and they were very excited, and the upper part of the head was only seen because there were so many in number that their faces can't be seen. Their hats were only seen, their upper part of the head was only seen. and the sunlight was falling on their mustache creamy. Archaic means creamy faces. Okay, so the sunlight was falling on their mustache creamy faces, and they were grinning means smiling, so they were smiling as if they are enjoying the holidays of August bank. Moving on to stanza 2. And the shut shops, the bleached established names on the sun blinds, the farthings and sovereigns and dark clothed children at play. Called after kings and queens, the tin advertisements for cocoa and twist, and the pubs wide open all day. So in the second stanza, there are sun blinds, that means the curtains. So these shops are now shut or closed because they have gone for their appointment in the army. So these shops are closed or shut, and their names are bleaching means blurring from the curtains. The names of the shops are blurring day by day. And the farthings and the sovereigns, these are the coins which are used to buy things at that time, the previous time. Okay, so these coins are used to buy things at that time. The children in the dark clothes were playing without any fear or tension, and their names are being kept in the names of kings and queens. The advertisements were done on the tin boxes for cocoa. Cocoa are the chocolates or any sweet dish, and twist. Twist means tobacco. Okay, so advertisements were done on tin boxes for cocoa, that means the chocolates are in sweet dish, or tobacco, and the pubs were widely open all day. Moving on to the third stanza. And the countryside not caring, the place names all hazed over, with flaring grasses and fields shadowing doomsday lines. Under weeds restless silence, the differently dressed servants, with tiny rooms in the huge houses, the dust behind luminescent. So the rural areas were not taken care of, and the board of which their names were written, the rural areas names were written, they were also hazed over, that means they were also blurred. Grasses were flowering, the doomsday lines, the lines which separates the fields, the doomsday lines were not seen because of much flowery grasses. In the wheat fields there also, it was so much restless, discomfort kind of silence. The servants were dressed in different clothes, and they lived in small, tiny rooms of huge houses. And their limousines, that means the cars, were full of dust, as there was no one to take care of these cars too. And the fields were also not harvested because all the farmers were also appointed for World War One. Moving on to the next stanza. Never such innocence, never before or since, as changed itself to past, without a word, the men leaving the gardens tidy. The thousands of marriages lasting a little while longer, never such innocence again. This kind of innocence is never seen, as they went to battlefields by leaving their fields without even saying a single word. The men left their tidy gardens. The marriages, which held some time back, were left behind as they went to battlefields. Newly wedded husbands are dead in the battlefields, and their wives became widows. I hope this type of innocence never comes again. The poet says that he hopes that this type of innocence never comes again, will never come again, never can be seen again.